They say dogs are a man's best friend, but if trained right, they can also be a man's best colleague. From police dogs to guard dogs, precious pups can be trained to do pretty much anything a man can. I mean, heck, look at Scooby-Doo. He is a successful paranormal detective. That takes serious discipline. These are the best trained and disciplined dogs in the world. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or a huge meteorite will fall on your house when you least expect it. Number 10. TOTO, the shell game expert. The shell game is that confusing, addling, totally mind-boggling game involving 3 or more cups and a prize or treat. The game host puts the treat or reward under one cup, then moves them all around to confuse you and make you lose track of where it went. At first, most people can track the container that's hiding the goodies, but a few slick moves can make you lose your focus and ultimately lose the game. This fluffy pooch, TOTO, shows that even though the odds are ultimately always in the game host's favor, there is a way to secure that coveted 100% success rate. TOTO is an intelligent, white, fluffy dog that sits patiently in front of 4 red cups. His owner places what looks like a cube of cheese under a cup, shows the dog a couple of times where the cheese is, then puts the cup over the top of it. The owner then spends the next 20 seconds or so moving all 4 cups around. TOTO looks totally confused. He's not sniffing for the treat, but is instead looking at all the cups as if he has no idea what's going on. But it's all a ruse. As soon as his owner stops moving the cups, the dog is quick to point his paw in the direction of the cup with the treat. They lift the container, remove the treat, and give it to the grateful dog. If that's not a trained and well-disciplined dog, then we don't know what is. While TOTO may have to work for his treat, he looks thoroughly excited when he's finally rewarded with it. Now it's time for the odd topic. When we first saw this photo, our jaws hit the floor. Many dogs are hyperactive little fellas, but not these boys. Looking like they're the children in a queue for gruel in a Dickensian novel, these puppies very much know their place. Bowls in mouths, they are patiently awaiting feeding. From what we've been told, these dogs are in training to be police dogs, and part of their training is decorum when it comes to feeding. These dogs will literally wait for days, causing no fuss, only stepping towards the server when their name is called. Incredible, right? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag #OddTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. And now, to the next topic. Number 9. Jumpy the Daredevil. Go to your local dog park and you'll see proud as punch owners puffing their chests out as their dogs sit on command or come back when they call their name. In a crowded dog paradise, having your dog listen to you when there are more exciting things going on is clearly a reason to celebrate. However, if you were to compare your dog's skill set to that of Jumpy and his 2 friends, you'll come to understand that your dog still has a bit of work to do. Jumpy is a border collie and blue heeler cross owned by LA-based professional dog trainer Van Muller. Van has taught Jumpy, along with his 2 dog friends, to carry out a range of tricks in perfect harmony. He uses keywords such as sit, lie down, and head down, and the dogs know exactly what is expected of them. The dogs sit on a pad on the floor and, when given the call, do as Van asks. The trick or task might involve 1 dog, 2 of them, or all 3. All dogs know who Van is talking to, which is quite unusual in itself. The dogs know when to move to another pad on the floor and return, or whether to stay and wait for another dog to go through the same process. It's truly remarkable to watch, and surely brings a tear to the eye of the flustered dog owner who's still trying to get their dog to sit on command. If that's not impressive enough, you should see Jumpy out in public. The young border collie and blue heeler mix has been training with Van since he was a puppy and has mastered things that even some humans haven't. Jumpy can do backflips, leap through the air to impressive heights, dive into swimming pools as if he's a graceful swimmer, ride a scooter, go wakeboarding, and more. His favorite pastime, however, is skateboarding. Jumpy loves nothing more than speeding on his skateboard at the skate park, doing the half pipe and getting airborne. Jumpy is no couch potato, that's for sure. Number 8. The talented Mr. Biscuit. There's nothing more annoying than sitting down on the sofa, getting comfortable, then realizing the remote is on the other side of the room. Now you have to get up and grab it. You wouldn't have to if you had a border collie named Mr. Biscuit. Mr. Biscuit is a young and eager-to-please dog owned by Kyle Shaw. He's incredibly talented, inquisitive, and quick to pick up tricks that Kyle teaches him. In fact, Kyle says Mr. Biscuit can learn something new in as little as 5 minutes. While Mr. Biscuit knows all the basics such as sit, stay, and roll over, he can also pick up some reasonably complex instructions and knows exactly what to do. The best part is, Kyle doesn't need a pocket full of snacks to get his dog to do what he wants. Mr. Biscuit is just happy to do it for the interaction and the fuss that Kyle makes of him. Mr. Biscuit can walk precariously up a ladder leaning against a wall to retrieve a toy, but that is only just the beginning. He can also take money from his mom's wallet, retrieve an oven mitt from a drawer and place it next to the oven, and grab a spoon from the cutlery drawer for his dad's cereal. Mr. Biscuit also solves that age-old problem of not having the remote control for the TV nearby. Kyle can sit down, ask his furry friend to get the remote, and he obliges. There's almost nothing this dog can't do. Mr. Biscuit has learned over 300 tricks, 900 words, and can recognize around 200 hand signals. According to Kyle, dogs can understand abstract thinking, which means they can recognize what a human is pointing to rather than focusing on the hand that's doing the pointing. Several studies have also shown that dogs can process languages the same way that humans can, which means that they can understand words, recognize humans in photos, and understand both emotions and communication. While not every dog is going to be as talented as Mr. Biscuit, it goes to show just what dogs can achieve when you spend a little time and effort on them. Number 7. World's most patient dogs. Most people know how challenging it can be to have a dog, but then you have 2, 3, and 4 of them and you learn just how tricky ownership can be. How are you supposed to take control at meal times, during outings, or even in your house? The last thing you want is chaos and dogs running all around you. You also can't communicate with them the same way you would if you had multiple children. While working out the logistics of multiple dogs on your property can be hard work, some owners prove that it can work, and work well. Instead of having a gang of dogs running at you to get to their bowls of kibble, you can train them to come in quietly, one by one, when you call their name. Some dogs might be better than others at this game of patience, but it's ultimately possible no matter the breed. There are plenty of videos on the internet that show some of the world's most patient dogs. In this video, for example, the owner stands in front of an open area with the gate ajar and dogs sitting around it. They aren't running out at her, jumping up, or racing to their dinner bowls. They're just sitting, waiting, and hoping they get their name called soon. One by one, the owner calls each dog's name, and they run joyfully to get their dinner. If you can pull off such training, there's every reason to believe you can have as many dogs as you like without the chaos you thought would come with them. You could even use this video as a bargaining chip with your significant other to show them that you need more dogs. Number 6. OZZY, the tightrope balancing dog. A quick browse on the internet will show you that dogs balancing on tightropes, while impressive, is pretty common. The dogs are highly trained and navigate their way along 2 tightropes with 2 legs on each. But what this dog, OZZY, can do is on an entirely different level. One day, Nick, OZZY's owner, noticed that he liked to balance on things. Even at the park, he would find the nearest chain and jump on top of it to walk or balance on it. It wasn't a chore, it was fun. Nick chose to nurture this talent and passion and teach OZZY how to walk a tightrope. But not 2 tightropes like other dogs, just 1. OZZY can get up onto the single rope with no help, balancing for as long as he wants to and even standing up on his hind legs. He can do all of this without wavering or falling off. Nick started with low ropes a mere few inches off the ground and rewarded him with his favorite toys. He then worked his way up to taller ropes, but focused on the same principles. He was also sure not to make OZZY do it too often, as he wanted it to be fun for the dog, not a chore or something he would get tired of doing. OZZY knows that as soon as he gets up on the rope and hears the treat clicker noise, he can get down and receive his favorite toy. Often, Nick will only ask him to balance for a few seconds. After OZZY became adept at tightrope walking, Nick put OZZY forward for a Guinness World Record. He is the only dog in the world to walk a single tightrope. Number 5. HEKAN, the horse-riding border collie. When most people need a helping hand on the farm, they hire someone and pay them money. Not Steve Jeffries, though. All he needed at Equestrian Excellence in Victoria, Australia, was his faithful border collie named HEKAN. HEKAN, which is short for He Can Do Anything, lives up to his name in more ways than one. Not only can he hold a horse while it's being saddled, but he can walk them on a lead, fetch items for Steve while he tends to the horses, and can even ride them. He doesn't just sit on the horse though, he will lead it, maintain his balance, steer it, and make the horse go forward and backward using the reins. Steve said HEKAN is basically his secretary. He will do anything Steve needs and takes pleasure in doing so. Why hire a stable hand when you've got a dog, man's best friend? Most people know Steve from his role as the lone rider who formed part of the Sydney Olympics opening ceremony. He rode into the stadium on his horse, cracked his whip, and signaled the start of the event. With a taste for the stage life, Steve and HEKAN train stunt horses at Equestrian Excellence for films and on-stage acting. HEKAN is genuinely one of a kind, and it's clear to see he's one of the best trained and disciplined dogs in the world. Number 4. Colt, the service dog. Everyone thinks they have the best dog in the world, and none of them are wrong. A dog is the only creature who will love you more than himself and will do anything and everything to protect you. Colt, the service dog, is proof of that. Janae was once a lover of the outdoors. She enjoyed going kayaking, skydiving, and living life to the fullest. But one day, she fell and struck her head and required immediate brain surgery. While she survived and underwent a few months of rehab, she was left with muscle weakness, fainting spells, and random seizures. At any moment, she could be struck down and unable to help herself. That's where Colt, the service dog, comes in. Colt is an English Labrador/Weimaraner cross who was hand-selected and trained to meet Janae's unique needs. He can detect when she's gonna faint or have a seizure and will alert her by laying down flat beside her to act as a barrier of protection. He will also lick her face and hands to wake her up, lean into her chest to hear her heartbeat and make sure she's okay, and lie on top of her to relieve her anxiety. Even in Janae's daily life, Colt is by her side. He can open doors, help with the grocery shopping, and even open and close the fridge and oven. If necessary, he will push the dish rack into the dishwasher, then close the outer door. Colt does anything and everything to make sure Janae's life is a little easier. He'll even clean up after himself and put rubbish in the trash can. While he's wearing his service vest, Colt is in work mode. However, as soon as it's off, he unleashes the lunatic dog within and enjoys frolicking outside, playing with his toys, and acting the goose. Good doggo, Colt. There's no question that you are one of the most disciplined and trained dogs in the world. Number 3. Nana, the balancing dog. From books, biscuits, and basketballs to apples, plates of food, and domestic rodents, there's almost nothing that Nana can't balance. This clever clogs collie is proving just how smart this breed can be. Border collies are some of the most intelligent dogs around, as you can tell just by how many times they've been featured on this list. But Nana clearly shows that when it comes to focus and balance, they excel here too. Nana's owners have taught her how to balance piles of items on her nose, head, and even her paws while she's standing on 2 feet. She can carry a spoon in her mouth with an egg on it, balance toys on her hind legs and walk, carry a glass of water on her head while her owner fills it, and walk up the stairs backward while balancing a book. It's not sheer luck that has made Nana able to carry out all these weird and unusual tasks. Her owners have put hours of training using a clicker and positive reinforcement to put her at the top of her game. Then, once she has finished balancing, she is rewarded with a treat or toy. It's also clear from watching the videos of Nana that she loves what she does. She gets immense satisfaction from following her owner's orders and making them happy. Clever doggo, Nana. Number 2. World's first driving dogs. Dogs bring so much joy into our lives and do anything they can to make us happy, but not all humans are willing to return the favor. According to the ASPCA, about 2 million dogs that end up in shelters are euthanized when they can't find their forever home. While we shouldn't need marketing campaigns to encourage people to adopt dogs, that's precisely what the SPCA in New Zealand, with the help of Minnie, decided to do. SPCA Auckland customized a Mini Countryman and taught 3 shelter dogs how to drive. Minnie then asked its advertising agency, Draft FCB, to create a campaign, and the rest is history. Porter, a shelter dog, became the world's first driving dog. 4 trainers got together with shelter dogs Porter, Monty, and Ginny and developed their driving skills. Minnie and SPCA worked together to customize the Mini to suit the canine drivers. They added paw-friendly handles on the steering wheel, made the ignition button easier to start, and taught them the essential functions of driving in a training setup. The dogs were then able to get into the car for real, putting their newfound tricks to good use. All 3 dogs successfully started the car, accelerated, and turned a corner before coming to a stop. The campaign video, which ran with the slogan, "Dogs this smart deserve a home," drove home the importance of adopting, not shopping. By the end of 2019, the video had over 15 million views. Number 1. Chaser, the Wordsmith. Chaser was a border collie who was deserving of not only treats for his efforts, but enrollment in a classroom. Such was his vocabulary that he could give many humans a run for their money. Psychology professor John W. Pilley was curious about how many words a dog could learn. Given how intelligent border collies are, he knew his own one stood a chance of acquiring a significant number. He purchased hundreds of toys and gave each of them a name. Chaser learned all his toys' names and was thus named the world's smartest dog. Professor Pilley would pick any toy at random, and it didn't matter which one. He wouldn't look in the direction of the toy, but would let Chaser use his expansive vocabulary to find it himself. Without hesitation, Chaser would chase down the toy that Professor Pilley had said the name of. With each new toy, it never took Chaser long to learn it. Professor Pilley would tell Chaser the name, put the toy among all the others, then tell him to fetch the new toy by name. Chaser's success rate was unbelievable. But it wasn't just toy gathering that Chaser was good at, he was exceptionally talented with puzzles as well. Professor Pilley could select 4 random toys that Chaser knew, then add a new one he hadn't seen before. He would tell Chaser to pick the new toy, and he would use the process of elimination by removing all the toys he did know to find the new one. Chaser, to this day, has the most extensive tested memory of any non-human. He started knowing objects by name from around 5 months of age and could pair names with objects after 1 test and reaffirmation to ensure it was in his long-term memory. He was also adept at knowing what a ball was, a tree, and even a house. Adverbs, prepositional objects, and verbs were no match for Chaser and his brilliance. Professor Pilley died in June 2018, and Chaser passed away of old age in July 2019. These dogs are proof that canines are smarter than we give them credit for. Do you have a particularly intelligent or well-trained dog? What can yours do that other people are impressed by? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.